Hello everyone and welcome to UK Foundations. I'm Uttaraditi and today we are going to be starting a new chapter which is the human eye and the colorful world. And if you know that the human eye topic is deleted, so we'll be doing only the colorful world chapter, the questions under that. So let's begin without any further ado. So yeah, the first question is the third one. It's the third question, right? A prism ABC with BC as its base is placed in different orientations. A narrow beam of white light is incident on the prism as shown in figure 11.1. So we have the figures here. In which of the following cases, after dispersion, the third color from the top corresponds to the color of the sky? Color of the sky, we know it's blue, right? We'll take it as blue. So it should be like a third from the top, okay? So usually if you take a normal prism like this, and once the light beam passes through this and gets refracted and then it comes out, you can see the range of colors, right? So you will find from the bottom like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. But they want from the top, the third color from the top should be blue, but it's from the bottom, right? It's coming to be blue. So how can you get this blue from the top to have the third position? Only if you invert the prism, right? If you invert the prism, the reverse order will follow. It will be like violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. Now the condition is satisfied that the third color from the top corresponds to the color of the sky, which is blue. So the inverted prism is this, so the answer is B, which is 2. Right, I hope it's clear. Next. Just a minute. Yeah, this is better. At noon, the sun appears white as. So in the noon, we know that the color of the sky is the sun. Right, specifically the sun appears to be white. What is the reason? So let's go through the options. Let's see the first option. Light is least scattered. See, we are able to see various colors like red or the blue color of the sky because of the scattering. So if light is least scattered, it will appear just dark, right? When there is no scattering, that's why for the astronauts as well, the color of the sky is just dark. It's just black, right? So this can be the answer. We'll come to the second one. Third one is blue is scattered the most. Next is red is scattered the most. Right. When it's as such, then you have to be seeing blue and the red color. So that's not the case. So it has to be B. Right. But then we'll see the reason as well. All the colors of the white light are scattered away. Here the catch is away. Okay. So when they are all scattered away from our vision, the color that reaches our eyes, there's no much difference and all appears to be white, and that's why sun appears to be white in color. Okay, so it's white in color. That's the reason behind it, that it holds B. B holds is the right option. Okay, so right. So sun appears to be white in color just because all the colors of the white light are scattered away. It's scattered away. Okay, so right. Which of the following phenomena of light are involved in the formation of a rainbow? In the formation of a rainbow, we know that this, suppose, is the droplet. Okay, so now the light from the sun enters. So you're here. Okay, your eyes are here. Always remember that the sun should be behind you when you're seeing if you have to see the rainbow. Okay, the sun should be behind you. Now the droplet, it is definitely not this big, but still one of the ray from the sun is reaching like this and it's going to get refracted, then refracted again, right? It's going to be refracted again and then it reaches the eyes. So the certain rays will also reach the eyes as well. So that's when you'll be able to see the different colors, like the spectrum. The spectrum is like the band of the colors, right? So that's when you'll be seeing. So what is the first thing happening? The refraction is happening for sure. There's no reflection here, so just eliminate the first option. There's refraction definitely. Here they have given dispersion and scattering. There's no scattering occurring here by any chance, right? There's no much scattering. So we know dispersion is definitely occurring. So this or this. Now is it total internal reflection or just internal reflection? It should be TIR. What is total internal reflection? Here that's happening, right? There's some phenomenon happening. You'll be learning about critical angle in your further classes, right? Critical angle. So when this is achieved, it'll undergo TIR, so it's B. Okay, so this is also done. Next, sixth question. Twinkling of stars is due to atmospheric, right? We have to say twinkling of stars is due to which phenomenon, right? Dispersion of light by water droplets. Twinkling of stars, dispersion of light, there's no sense, right? There's no relation between them. Refraction of light by different layers of varying refractive index, that's true, right? The position, the amount of light entering our eyes from the stars keeps fluctuating. The intensity keeps fluctuating because of the refractive indexes, and it's varying. So that's the main reason why it appears to be twinkling. Is it scattering of light by dust particles? There's nothing really here. Are we talking about some colors or something? Usually scattering in those, you can relate it with colors. When you're able to see like colors, you can involve scattering of light. But then there's no color seen. We are talking about twinkling of stars. So it's due to atmospheric refraction. There's no internal reflection by clouds or something. That doesn't make sense. So it's B. It's only B, right? Right. Next, seventh one. The clear sky appears blue because blue light gets absorbed in the atmosphere. If blue light gets absorbed, then what do you see? Do you see blue color? You don't see. The blue light does not reach your eyes, right? So how can blue light, basically the clear sky will appear blue only if the blue light reaches your eyes. But if blue light is absorbed, then you won't be able to see, and it will be wrong, right? UV radiations are absorbed in the atmosphere. There is no relation between UV radiations and the color of the sky. So neglect that. Now we have to see these two. Violet and blue light get scattered more than lights of all other colors by the atmosphere, or the rest of the colors are scattered more. Okay, so actually it's third option. Violet and blue light is getting scattered the most, and that's why you're able to see them. Correct. See, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Number one is these, like almost in the beginning of the spectrum, they have lesser wavelength. Lambda is what wavelength is represented by. It's low. That's why the scattering is more for them. The angle of deviation will be more for them, and you will see them being more scattered. While violet, orange, red will be scattered least because they have higher wavelengths. Okay, so here these get scattered the most and they reach our eyes. When they scatter the most, over here, let this be the earth. So the white light is entering through the atmosphere. So when they scatter the most, it'll be blue all over, and violet and blue, these three colors almost appear the same as blue. Our eyes capture it as blue only, it can't differentiate much. So you'll find blue as the color of the sky. So that's the reason, and hope it was conveyed. Next, which of the following statements is correct regarding the propagation of light of different colors of white light in air? So is red light moving faster, blue light, or all the colors are the same, or yellow light moves the faster with the mean speed as that of red and violet? The answer is C. The speed will be the same when it is in the air. When does it change? Only when the refractive index is changing. When it's moving from one medium to the other medium only, the white light, the individual components will have different speed. Okay, it doesn't mean that in the air each of them have individual different speeds, and when they enter into some medium such as a prism, it again changes to separate. No, they'll all have the same in the air. Okay, so right. Next, The danger signals installed at the top of tall buildings are red in color. These can be easily seen from a distance because all other colors, the red light is scattered the most or the least, or is absorbed the most or moves faster in air. There's no sense of telling that it moves fastest in air, okay, because just now they have the same speed. Is absorbed the most by smoke or fog. It's wrong, because if it's absorbed, then the light can't reach our eyes, and there's no sense of telling that it's red light, right? Now, is it scatter the least or is it scatter the most? It's actually scatter the least, okay, because it scatter the least only it'll reach our eyes. That's why, like the signals, right, you'll see that red, yellow and orange, red, yellow and green. In place of yellow, at times oranges are used. So the point of using red is it is scattered the least and it will reach our eyes. So that's the reason, henceforth it's B. Okay, it's B. It's scattered the least by smoke or fog. Okay, right. Next, which of the following phenomenon contributes significantly to the reddish appearance of the sun at sunrise or sunset? Reflection of light from earth? Nope. TIR of light? No. Is it due to scattering or is it due to dispersion of light? Let us see. It is definitely like not because of the C or D options. A TIR it happens, a reflection of light happens, it does not make sense, but it's only due to scattering, right? Dispersion is not that the sunlight is getting split into violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and red appears to our eyes. No, the scattering of light is taking place, and we know that the main thing is during sunrise or sunset. This is the horizon. We'll have it here. Okay, sunrise, sun is here. Okay, so the distance that it has to travel through the atmosphere is more, right? So the distance that travels is more, so the red light reaches our eyes while the blue light is scattered away. It's scattered like this. This is the blue light. It goes away while the red light is like here. It reaches your eyes. Okay, so red light reaches our eyes, making the sky to look red in color. So this is due to the scattering of light only. Okay, this is what it happens, like scattering of the light through the atmospheric, through the refractive indexes of the atmosphere, and that's why it appears red in color. Okay. Next, the bluish color of water in deep sea is due to the bluish color. We know this from our childhood itself. It's the same reason. Above we have our sky, which is in blue color, and water just reflects that color, and it's only due to reflection of sky in water. Scattering of light? Nope, there's no scattering of light. Absorption of light by the sea? No. The presence of algae and other plants found in water? No. It won't make it to make it appear blue, but at times water appears green or something, right? That is because of algae. You will find algae in the bottom and it will appear green in color. That's a different thing. So it's B. Then there's no 12th question, nor 13th, nor 14th. Let's just do the questions which are there. Right, we got a question. Yes, the 9th one. Let's choose a different color. How will you use two identical prisms so that a narrow beam of light, right, a narrow beam of white light incident on one prism emerges out of the second prism as white light? Draw the diagram. So we have seen that this was explained by Newton, right? Newton, right? So why did, a small backstory, why did he do this? Why did he try to do this? Is because previously many people believed that the prism is the one that is producing by itself the different colors. It's the one that is producing VIBGYOR, right? But Newton wanted to prove it wrong. He knew that it wasn't because of the prism, but it's the white light that is splitting. So how did he explain it? I'll tell you. First we have our prism. Let's keep some space. Okay, so this is the normal. It's striking, goes like this. So we have violet and red, right? In between we'll have the rest of the colors. Yeah, so now should move away from the normal because it's moving from denser to rarer again. Here also it will move away from the normal. Red, violet. Now it will combine and it will emerge as a single beam. Okay, so you would have seen this diagram in your book as well. Okay, so this proves that, see, suppose if it was the prism that was providing the colors, then here you won't see white light. You should be seeing red, you'll be seeing violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. But that's not the case. You're able to see the white light that's entering here, white light, and here also it's white. So this is the experiment given by Newton, and it's the same, it proves the same. Okay, next. Draw a ray diagram showing the dispersion through a prism when a narrow beam of white light is incident on one of its refracting surfaces. Also indicate the order of the colors of the spectrum obtained. So we just did it now, but let's do it again, no issues. This is our prism. Okay. Let me explain it step by step. Now, when it's moving from rarer medium to a denser medium, it's going to move, the light will move towards the normal. Right, one will go like this, the other will go like this. But it was supposed to move like that. Okay, so this will be violet and this will be red. And then again, it will move away from the normal because now it's moving from denser to rarer. It will move away from the normal. It will go like this. Okay, so we'll have violet and red. So they're asking, draw a ray diagram showing the dispersion through a prism. Dispersion is being explained when a narrow beam of white light is incident on one of its refracting surfaces. This is a refracting surface and this is also a refracting surface. Wait. This one is a refracting surface, this one is the refracting surface. This is the base of the prism. Okay, yeah. Also indicate the order of colors of the spectrum obtained. The order of the colors, the spectrum that is obtained is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. You know the reason as well, right? Violet has the least wavelength, so it undergoes the deviation from the normal, like from the original ray will be the highest, right? So lower the lambda, more is the deviation. So it's being explained. Next. Is the position of star seen by us its true position, or are we being tricked? We are being tricked over here. Let's see how is it. Before that, let's just clear some space over here. Okay, yeah. So this is our Earth, right? So let's just draw a star with some green color. Okay, and we have our atmosphere here. This is the atmosphere. I know it's not proper circle, but yes. What happens now is, we should use this, the ray from this star, now it's in green color, it should be appearing green color. Now first it will appear straight. Okay, it will come straight, but the point is here there will be like varying refractive index due to many reasons, like there is many dust and smoke being produced, and also that due to the winds and the current and all, the position of the position of the dust and the smoke and the gases present in the atmosphere keeps changing. Okay, so the ray will undergo like several refractions before it reaches our eye. Okay, so let's draw a normal here. So I'll bend towards the normal. Again it will bend towards the normal. Keep bending towards the normal. It should be drawn here, but yeah. it reaches our eyes here. So here we are standing. Let's assume his name is Rohit. Okay, some X person is standing here. Now what he'll assume is the ray, oh my god, the ray is coming from here, so I think that the star is here. That's what his eyes will assume. His eyes won't think, okay, it has undergone some kind of refraction, so it should be here. No, right? His eyes will assume that the ray of light is coming from here. That's what his eyes will assume. So it's slightly higher than the original position. It's not the true position, it's higher. The observed position is slightly higher than the original. It won't, this much deviation won't be seen. It'll be a slight deviation, but for such a small earth that we have drawn, it will be like this. Okay, next. Why do we see a rainbow in the sky only after rainfall? Why is it only after rainfall? Let's see. Actually, you can also find rainbows during the other times, like when there's a waterfall and you're standing in such a position that the waterfall is in front of you and the sun is behind you. Okay, that time also the sun should be behind you. It's not like if it is behind you or something, it must be behind you. Okay, so that time also you can observe a rainbow, but just let's justify this statement. During rainfall, we'll see a raindrop, and here's the sun. I have drawn it again, but just to justify this one, we'll do it again. Here is the person. So his eyes, he is pointing towards this and the sun is behind him. Okay, so the rays of the light is entering like this. The white light enters here. It undergoes refraction, right? It's going from a rarer to a denser medium, thinking there's water inside. So it's going to bend like this. Okay. Now it will again undergo TIR. And it should undergo here. Let's just shift this position. Okay. So now it's going to reach our eyes. So when you stand here, you'll be able to see this rainbow. So the different spectrum will be amazed. Now this person will be amazed by looking at the rainbow. So it's seen only after rainfall because the raindrops act as prism. Okay, it's going to act as a prism, and yeah, that's when you will see the rainbow being formed. Okay, why is the color of clear sky blue? Why is it blue? Let's just clear some space. Excuse me. Okay, so hope the classes are conveying the message that it has to convey. Okay, so right, this is time consuming, right? Okay. So I think this is enough. Why is the clear sky blue in color? So usually it appears to be blue because it depends on the color that reaches our eyes, right? There is a spectrum of colors VIBGYOR present in the white light, but we are able to see only blue. Mainly we'll be able to see these three colors, but our eyes will not be able to differentiate each of them clearly. They all appear as one color, one single color, which is blue. Okay, so we are able to see this because again the lambda is low for them and they undergo maximum scattering. Okay, not away from earth, but they undergo maximum scattering. In the sense, if this is the earth, okay, this is the earth and we have the sun here. So if you see, if the blue light reaches like this, it's like all over this place, the blue light. Okay, so this entire region will appear to be blue for you, right? You will be seeing it as blue. This entire region will appear to be blue. then you'll assume that okay, acha, the color of the sky is blue in color, and that's the reason why the color of the clear sky is blue. Okay, it undergoes maximum scattering. Maximum scattering is seen. Okay, so due to maximum scattering, we are able to see that color. Next, what is the difference in the colors of the sun observed during sunrise or sunset, and in the moon? So right, this is a very important question. You can be expecting those in the boards. I'll tell you the procedures to be maintained. If you do that, if you maintain that, well and good. Okay, first you have to draw the picture. First draw our earth. Okay, we have an atmosphere, this atmosphere. Okay, and now you have to draw a horizon. You can draw it here, or wait, wait, let the horizon be drawn here. Okay, so now the position of the sun when it's here, and here, and once it's here. Okay, so the color of the sun is sun is that here when it happens, we can see that the rays of the light that travels here through the atmosphere will be the highest over here and here, but lesser over here. It will be less here. If you're seeing from here directly it can reach, but here it has to travel a lot of distance, correct? Right. So because it has to travel the lesser distance over here, most of the color is scattered away, and mostly it appears white. I have explained this already in the MCQ question, right? But here if you see, the color blue will undergo maximum scattering. It will go like this. That's the problem. Blue will go away. It's also being scattered, but it will go away because of more distance. Usually itself, blue will undergo the maximum scattering, and here it undergoes so much scattering that it won't reach our eyes itself. But red will come here. Let me use another color to differentiate it. Let us use green. Okay, so assume this is the red color. First it will be the same, but then it will undergo scattering here. Okay, it will undergo lesser scattering, and we'll see it like red in color. Okay, that's the same reason here. Here and here, blue scatters most. Blue most scattering away. It scatters away. Okay, in which places? Here and here. While red is scattered the least and it reaches our eyes, but in this case all are scattered away. All the colors are scattered away, and which color reaches our eyes? This word, all colors. It's all colors are scattered away, and it almost appears like white in color. So that's the explanation, and NCERT book also a beautiful explanation is being given, so you can go through that as well. And yeah, okay, now moving on to the long question and answers, as they have removed the human eye topic, which is one of the most important topics of this chapter. We don't have much work, but even these topics are very important. So yeah, let's move on. Okay, so right, we are going to be seeing the long question and answers. Let's use this one. Okay, just a minute, guys. We have this question. Let's see what's the question number. We have the 27th question. Explain the refraction of light through a triangular glass prism using a labeled ray diagram and define the angle of deviation. I've done the first part twice, right? Let's just define the angle of deviation over here. Okay, So if you have forgotten the first half, I hope you haven't, but if you have, then you can go back and look what we have done. Okay, so again, as a short summary, this light that's entering the prism, it undergoes refraction, scatters. It was supposed to go, see, if there was no prism, it would have gone like this. Okay, straight it would have gone, but because of the prism, it has changed its direction like this. Okay, so it goes red and violet here, and again it undergoes refraction. It will move away from the medium, goes like this. It should be down actually, wait. It goes like this. Okay, so violet and red. Now we have to find the angle of deviation. So actually there's two angle of deviations. You can find specifically, you should mention whether you want angle of deviation of violet or red or something, because it's white light. But if you use a monochromatic light, it's easy to find. Okay, so now for the red light, suppose we are finding the angle of deviation. Let's use a different color. Okay, so if you back extend this ray, it's gonna meet here. Okay, wheresoever it meets the original ray. It was supposed to be, this is supposed to be the original ray, and this is the emergent ray. So this angle is called angle of deviation, and it's represented by delta. This is called delta. You know, right? Alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Okay, so it's represented by delta over here is the angle of deviation. And for violet, it's the same. But if you use a monochromatic light, as I said previously, what is a monochromatic light? A light which contains only a single color, in simple terms, only violet or only blue or something. Let's just try that. Let's take a color. This is a prism. What color do we like? Let's take brown for no issue, for no problem. Okay, so now it was supposed to go like this, but then it went like this, and now it's emerging like this. Now you back extend this ray and see this angle. This is called delta, and this is also called as angle of deviation. That's it, simple. Okay, right. Now how can we explain the reddish appearance of sun at sunrise and sunset? Why does it not appear red at noon? I have already explained this, so you can just go back and look onto that. I don't want to take your time. Right. Explain the phenomenon of dispersion of white light through a glass prism using a suitable diagram. See, when they are asking it plenty of times, you can know its importance. It's already done now. And to our surprise, this is the last question. How does refraction take place in the atmosphere? Right. And why do stars twinkle but not planets? Very nice and important question. First thing, why does refraction take place in atmosphere? I've already mentioned that. Firstly, the first reason that refraction occurs is due to the atmosphere that contains smoke, right, dust particles, gases at higher altitudes, okay, etc, etc, etc. So, and also the, okay, let it be there. Then you might be thinking that if smoke is here, then the dust is here, then the gases are here, then there's no refraction, there's not much. But another thing that happens along with this is that the position is not fixed. Like, it's not that smoke should be here only, dust particles are here only, gases are here only. Nope, this is not the case. But instead what happens is the position keeps changing. If the smoke is here like this and the dust particles are here like this, after some time you will find that the smoke particles have moved apart and the dust particles have also moved apart. Okay, based on this positions, the refractive index will also change. So these are the reasons why the refraction takes place in the atmosphere. Let's take a different color. Okay. Why do stars twinkle but not planets? Right. So we saw this already. Why do stars twinkle? It's because the amount of light entering our eyes from the stars keep fluctuating due to the same, which is the atmospheric refraction. Okay, but why don't planets twinkle? This can be a question being asked. Let's try solving it. Okay, Let's try understanding the phenomenon behind that. Okay, so why do stars twinkle but not planets? The differences between stars and planets, let's see. That's the thing that will explain you the reasons as well. Okay, stars are very, very far. They're very far away from Earth. Okay, these are near enough as compared to, see, if this is the Earth, we'll find like Venus and Mars over here, just showing, but stars are like somewhere here. This is a star, this is a star, but here are the planets. Okay, so this distance you see and this distance you see, it's very, very far, right? Yeah, that's the first reason that can be put forth. Second thing is, stars appear as point objects. Okay, but planets are extended objects. Why is that so? We'll see that. As an object keeps moving far away from our eyes, from the vision of our eyes, their size will keep reducing. They keep appearing smaller and smaller. So as these are very far, if you bring them near, they might be very large, but due to that distance they appear like point objects, and these are extended objects. Okay, right. And also you can explain that stars are a collection of point sourced collection of point sources of light. What is that? If this is the entire planet, you can tell like they are a collection of many point source light object. Okay, so let's assume that there are 100 sources of light. So what happens is, if 50 are blinking, if then the other 50 don't blink. Okay, so the amount of light that enters our eyes, like if 70 is blinking, then 30 don't. So the amount of light entering our eyes will almost be the same. Like the amount entering our eyes from like at t equals to 1 and t equals to 2 will almost be the same. You won't see much difference in the light, in the amount of light entering our eyes. When the amount of light entering our eyes changes only, they will appear to twinkle. Okay, the twinkling will occur only if the amount of light entering will keep fluctuating. That's what, right? Sometimes you see that the stars are like very bright, and sometimes they are very, you know, you don't find any light. That's the cause of twinkling. So that explains this question, and we have completed this chapter as well, only in one video, right? Congrats for that, and I hope the session was very interactive. If any queries, you can drop them in the comment section. I hope you liked the video. Definitely spread the key of success, spread knowledge. Thanks.